is going on, peeps? Welcome to the return of Tony and Dr. Clone at the movies. Our return to the series starts off with a review that was just quite random. It was the end of my week off from work, and Dr. Clone was like, hey, is King Kong vs. Godzilla, ex-Godzilla, New Empire still in the theaters? And I was like, yeah, it's still in a few spots. And he's like, let's go. So, we had a random...
You're not doing it justice. It's me, boys and girls, and I will tell the story how it should be seen. I realized one night, the other night, I was bored. So I went to him and said, yeah, is Godzilla and King Kong still in theaters? He said, yes. I said, perfect, let's go, because I have nothing better to do this day.
And peeps, we proceeded to go and watch one of the last airings of it in theaters in 3D, which, although I prefer the adult theater, the basic 3D was pretty good actually. Noticeable effects.
I recently discovered, you need to be careful about this, boys and girls, but there's two kinds of 3D glasses, for kids and adults. Good thing I noticed that shit before I walked into the theater, because that would have pissed me off.
Yeah, he did pick up the kid one first. We're going to start off with just a basic review of the movie. Then, when we get to the points where spoilers are going to be coming out, then we'll stop and let you guys know. But overall, this is continuing from the last movie. It's kind of been established in the previous one that Kong and Godzilla will have their different territories. Kong is where? In Center Earth?
He's in Center Earth, as Godzilla is just on Earth.
It starts off with even the government saying, fortunately, they have Godzilla on their side to help them against all the other kaijus, or they're referring to the kaijus as titans. And you see Godzilla disposing of a few of those. But ultimately, throughout the story, there's some things that happen, some beacons are being made, and despite Godzilla and King Kong being separated by all these circumstances, things do happen where they do cross paths. And it gets quite interesting.
It's funny that he says how everyone's saying they're glad that Godzilla's fighting all these kaijus, but here's the funny thing. The moment Godzilla apparently does something that makes one particular government get a little butthurt, then they want to play the threat in the poor guy. The thing he did in question, you know, the Colosseum in Rome, he decided to make that his personal bed. That is such a G move for Godzilla. You just see him sitting inside of it, sleeping, not giving a single fuck. Now that is why he's known as the King of Monsters. Because nowhere else is more suited to be his bed but the Roman Colosseum.
Yeah. Then the Kong, who's in the Center Earth, you kind of see Kong in a miserable state at first. Literally just being messed around with all these creatures. And one thing you see that makes Kong stand out is he actually made traps. It was just like very human-esque, is it not, the traps that he made?
Yeah, but it goes to show there's a reason why Kong is the king of Skull Island.
Yeah, because he was actually intelligent, on top of how strong he was. And then you see that he had some teeth issues and he needed to see a dentist. So Kong kind of broke the rules and left Center Earth. And you saw there was a little girl who can communicate with him. She's simulated the life in our world. And she was able to tell them, yeah, he's hurt. They brought in a dentist and they got him a silver tooth, a specially made tooth that he could bite for anything as he would need.
But the funny thing is, as you see him doing this, the only thing in my mind is, I'd be terrified, out of my goddamn mind, they'll be doing something like that. Because if you see the vast difference in size with Kong and a regular human being, one slip up and you'll fall straight in his mouth and he won't know.
Yeah. And stomach acids don't discriminate. Unless you have a special suit on, those are going right, you're melting right in there. From there, we see Kong go back to Skull Island. Now, we're going to be kind of vague here, but Kong, there's a big emphasis on Kong being a social creature, but the last of his kind. he does encounter his kind. Now, when we get to our spoilers, we're going to tell you more
But
details.
before that, there was one scene in the beginning. He could have sworn he heard another Kong. Only to find out, remember, is this a bloody gecko lizard making the same noise?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That got him mad.
Like my brother said, Kong's a social creature like all monkey groups are. Because they always form groups.
Yeah, they have little civilizations. Now, as the movie progresses, let's just say Godzilla knows about the other Kongs, and we'll explain that in the spoiler section. And he's kind of preparing to meet them. Kong's interactions are so badass, I have to tell you guys them in detail when I tell you about them. But where the story takes off from here will be way more vague going forward for this point.
Because even though there are going to be spoilers, we obviously don't want to ruin the story for anyone who's never watched it yet. Which again, I highly recommend, boys and girls. This is Dr. Clone telling you. This movie, it is way better than any movie I've seen so far with these two.
Yeah, honestly, as far as any King Kong or Godzilla movie, this is without a shadow of a doubt the best one I have ever seen. I enjoyed this quite a lot. Literally, just Dr. Clone never wants to leave the house. So him saying he wanted to go to the movies, I was just going out to hang out with my brother because we never hang out anywhere that much. But I was so surprised how much I enjoyed this movie. This was such a good movie.
But you know what's the best part? We had the entire theater to ourselves.
Yeah, actually, I might have a clip here. You guys check that out. We had the empty theater there. It was quite cool. I guess because you could rent it on TV, right? On digital. So
Yeah.
most people are going to rent it. But the price for both our tickets was only like $10 more than $10 or $5 more than renting it. So it was like, well, why don't we just go get that movie theater experience, right?
Plus, I like theater food. Particularly the way how they prepare their popcorn and hot dogs.
Pretty awesome time overall. The experience of going, great movie. Honestly, as far as a rating scale, I definitely would say a 5 out of 5.
Out of 10, I give it 100.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. I probably, I'm going to copy that score. 100 out of 10 from me, too.
Don't be copying me.
All right, but let's get into the things that made this really interesting. The storytelling, like you really sympathized with Kong throughout this.
Yeah.
You saw Kong in a way you've never seen Kong before. And he didn't have to kidnap a woman and climb a building for you to get emotions from him.
Yeah. That's the one thing I never did like about their first original Kongs. They always made him seem like a bad guy who was mindless and dumb, but no. I like this new Kong. Smart, intelligent, badass. And like my brother said, he actually makes traps. I've never seen any creature like that smart enough to make traps designed specifically to kill creatures just as big or bigger than him. And like in the first few movies, he's smart enough to use both tools and weapons to his advantage.
He still has the axe from the first movie. Now, what was that axe made of? Part of Godzilla's scales or something?
You know the spikes on Godzilla's back?
Yeah.
That's what it's made out of. That's why it's able to absorb Godzilla's energy blasts. Because it's technically a part of him.
Now, Godzilla, you see in the light, and the simple fact of the matter is, once you understand the story, and we'll get to everything, Godzilla essentially just cares about, I don't know whether he cares about the Earth, or he just sees the Earth as his territory. Because he did smash every kaiju that was not somewhere they're not supposed to be at the start, did he not?
Well, what they're trying to say and allude to, which is, it's true sometimes, but not always, supposedly Godzilla wants to maintain the balance of the world. Now, that could be something they're just adding now, but usually half the time Godzilla is just territorial asshole.
Now, there is one thing. There was like the people of Skull Island, the girl who was able to communicate with Kong. You actually get a bit of her history, and I kind of find it interesting that they kind of put her into place. If you guys remember the old Mothra movies, you know the two little girls who would summon Mothra with their singing. She's kind of in that place. But one thing that kind of like was kind of confusing is that they made this entire tribe of people mute. They're the ones who, in the originals, would be these little tiny girls. They're tiny, and they would sing the song for Mothra to come. But now it's like a telepathic bond, and the people who do it don't talk.
No, but I do like their design, both their outfits and their face paint.
Yeah, I did like the tribe design.
The thing I find funny, technically their weapons, those weren't spears. Those were giant ass crystals they were using as weapons.
Yeah. Ultimately, if you notice, the villain of the movie had a crystal on a whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about the story because this is a really good story.
And again, we do not want to ruin it because we want you, boys and girls, to see this. So, the more of you that watch it, the likelihood of them making another one is even higher. And I want them to make another one.
Yeah, go and rent this. If it's still in your local theaters, definitely go and check it out. Now, if you guys haven't seen it and you want to watch it, stop right here. I'm going to put it on the screen. Spoiler warning, guys. Spoiler warning. We're going to get more detailed into the story now and just like talk about the elements that just were like...
Of course, don't worry. We won't be talking about the human characters because personally, I don't care about the human characters.
They are a part of the story and they'll be mentioned when necessary. Like Paperboy from Atlanta, he was in it.
Yeah. The funny thing is, they make him be technically kind of like a scientist, but he's given a more comedic role.
Yeah.
There are some lines of his I don't care for what they made him do or say. That was pretty cringe.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you gotta do what you gotta do for having a role.
I gotta say about the actor, he definitely has a lot of depth. From the different type of roles we've seen him play in the last few years. Now, as far as the story it goes, so we kind of stopped getting in detail when Kong left the Earth. Now, there is this beacon being sent. Now, alluding to the factor of Godzilla actually caring about the Earth. These were the original people of the tribe of the people of Skull Island. They were sending a beacon to Godzilla to save them. And once Godzilla noticed this beacon, he essentially, there's a bunch of creatures on Earth, kaijus that he was not touching, and they're by massive power sources. And he actually started off with a nuclear plant. But he essentially was going and charging himself up throughout the movie to prepare for the threat that the original Skull Island people were letting them know about. They were letting them know that there was an immense threat, and he knew that to protect the Earth and to maintain the balance, he had to charge himself up to a level he's never been before. So throughout the majority of the movie, that is what Godzilla is doing, going to various points, nuclear plants, killing other kaijus and taking their power sources, just in preparation for where he's going.
No, but not get it twisted, boys and girls. Like I told you before, Godzilla is only concerned about two things. Maintaining the balance and the planet itself. Not the people, not us.
Well,
he's never cared about humans. He cares about the planet.
Well, are you sure about that?
No, it's been documented and clarified. Godzilla does not care about humans at all. He never has. At no point in history.
Interesting.
Keep in mind, technically, most people don't realize, Godzilla is technically a walking nuclear reactor. That's why he was at the nuclear power plant. That's why he was feeding off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, when Godzilla walks through a city, he's leaving waves of radiation.
This is
everywhere.
True. This is true. Now, let's get into the other side of the story. Well, that's all going on. Kong, as we talked about the sad moment where he thought he heard one of his peoples, and he saw something and he went through it. A part he never really went to Skull Island, because there was this whole part where there was just like cave-ins in the ground when the beacons were being sent. Now, the connected girl who had a connection with Kong, she was getting visions of the beacons and blocking out and scribbling down. That's why the humans ended up going into Center Earth. Now, Kong going in here, he saw something that shocked him. he saw other Kongs. And it was actually a little one he saw first, right?
Yeah. Now here's the thing. I have never seen Kong actually encounter another Kong in any movie for the last, I believe it's been 70 years.
Yeah. So when he saw that, he saw the little one. The little one looked scared, and Kong was reaching out, being like, "It's okay, it's okay." And then when she reached out, because he was obviously happy, he finally finds one of his people. The little bugger bit him. And then you quickly see that it was a setup, and several other Kongs came and attacked him.
Here's the thing. There was at least 4, and they're all armed with weapons.
They actually had knives and stuff.
At first, Kong's like, what the? You see Kong, like, first shocked but overwhelmed, but Kong, being the G that he is, kicked all their asses. But here's the funny part. One of them was about to fall off a cliff. Kong saved him and says, "Are you okay?" And I'm saying, thank you. This asshole tried to still attack Kong. So Kong's like, "Fine, Sparta kick, fuck you."
Yeah, he gave him the Sparta kick, and it was just his preservation for his people because he's been so long he didn't want to kill them. And then ultimately, the other ones got away, running. Kong threw a rock at his head. Little one was left behind. So he more or less, we didn't understand what they're saying because there wasn't subtitles, but he more or less told the little one to take them where they came from. So Kong forced the little one to carry him. Now in this journey, the little guy did try to set him up.
Yeah, at one point they're at some river. At first the little one's hinting, "Yeah, come to the river, let's drink some water," because it's been a long journey. You see Kong hesitant and saying, "Fine, sure, I guess I can use a drink." And his back's turned to the deepest part of this river. But you see this little bugger, this looking. And you see the mischief grin, like, now you're wondering, why the hell is he grinning like that?
Then you see a big giant sea kaiju come out of nowhere. Way bigger than Kong. Little guy runs, and then you see this thing pull Kong under the water. And the little guy's running away, and you kind of see him stop, and he's like, "Yeah," kind of celebrating. And then out of nowhere, Kong's axe stops in front of the little guy. Then the head of the creature falls beside the little guy. Then you see Kong walking with the pieces of it that he's going to eat.
Yeah.
They go to a fire. Kong's enjoying his bounty. Little guy, he sees a little guy eating bugs off himself. Kong decides to break a piece off of his meat and share it with him. You see the little guy go and sit beside him, so you kind of notice a bond start to build between them because Kong was actually looking out for him and helping him, right?
Yeah. The funny thing is, I noticed in this particular scene, it's like Kong was thinking, like, huh, so this is like what it's like to finally have a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
You could say he kind of became like his little brother.
Yeah. The look of the kid kind of reminded me of Kid Godzilla.
I did notice that.
So from there, he takes him back to this volcanic area where you kind of more or less see the Kong people are enslaved. We don't really know what they're doing. They're just breaking bricks. Yeah,
stuff.
Moving them around.
And because there's no subtitles, you have no idea what the fuck they're making.
Yeah, what the purpose of. So then Kong sees one of the guys who are in charge knock one of the Kongs down. Then Kong comes, and like the little guy's trying to stop him. He's like, "No!" He's in fear. He's in deep fear, and he's trying to pull Kong away and not to go because this is obviously where they became close. Kong helps the one who was knocked down up. Then the other one, who was the guard, I guess, comes and yells in Kong's face. It's the most badass moment. He's just punches him in his face, like, "Shut up."
Yeah. The funny part is, this Kong's like, the whole time Kong's just standing
Yeah, he's just like.
Then he's like, "Fuck off."
Then this brings out the leader of all these Kongs. What is his name?
Now, they gave the leader a very interesting name. He's known as the Scar King.
The Scar King. Now, the difference between him is he has this whip, which is made out of the spine of a kaiju, and a crystal at the end. Now, the crystal at the end allows him to control one of the biggest kaijus. One that Godzilla defeated millennia ago. In fact, this Scar King, his goal was to come to Earth because the Kongs used to be the protectors of humans at one point, but he wanted to conquer them. So Godzilla and the people of Skull Island banished him and the other kaiju. Now his goal is to get back to the main Earth and get out of Center Earth. So this is their goal and what they're building towards it. And they're trying to, I guess, build material. Him and Kong go at it, and Kong obviously, despite his weapon with the crystal on the end,
which, trust me, was a fair fight. He got a few nicks in, but all of a sudden, just when you thought Kong won, you see this cocky asshole, which, if you're wondering he's an orangutan, you see him laughing all of a sudden. He grabs his little whip. This is where you notice the crystal, because at first when you see the whip, you don't notice the crystal.
No, you can notice it when it cut Kong.
Only briefly. But then you see what its purpose was, because at first you just think it's part of the blade of the whip. But then when he lifts it up, boys and girls, it glows. Next thing you know, you see a bunch of his little guards with chains, and they're pulling something. What they're pulling, boys and girls, is the very kaiju that started the Ice Age on the planet billions of years ago. The same one that Godzilla barely, and I mean barely, defeated millions of years ago.
And that's why Godzilla is now charging himself up to another level. He gets himself up to the purple level. So Kong puts in a good fight against this thing, but ultimately his arm gets frozen and he gets severe frostbite and he loses his arm. And fortunately his little buddy helps him escape. So they get back to where the humans are, who are searching Earth. I probably should have said a bit more, but we're talking about Kong and Godzilla here.
Yeah, like I said, even though, yes, the human characters do play a role in the movie, I personally don't care about them. That's why I'm not talking about them. Plus, the fact that we're not saying anything about them also helps not spoil the movie too much.
Yeah, that is true too. And then from there, they actually give Kong a robotic arm, which you've seen in the trailers. So
yeah,
they make
now
him
you know why you got this.
Yeah.
Because this kaiju, unlike others, has a freeze breath. That's what fucked up Kong's arm. Like, I've seen many kaijus before, but not one that had Pacific ice power. Now when I saw that, I could see why Godzilla struggled against him, because technically, one Mechagodzilla that had a similar ability actually killed Godzilla once.
This is true. This is true. Now, at this point, after Kong's all patched up, the little girl says to Kong, "We need help." So he goes back up to main Earth to call Godzilla. He goes on top of, where did they get on top of? One of the pyramids?
Yeah, one of the pyramids in Egypt, if I recall. Specifically, Cairo.
Yeah, it was at Cairo, I believe. And then Godzilla, he lets Godzilla know that he's there. Godzilla immediately is like, "What the fuck? How dare you?" Starts charging towards him.
Yeah, it's funny. First you see him get out of his bed, then he just nose dives in the ocean. He's like, "You motherfucker, how dare you!"
And then, as he comes up, Kong's like, okay, he sees Godzilla. He's like, Kong's trying to, okay, we got to, and this Godzilla just charges right at him, starts beating the crap out of him. Kong's like, he's trying to explain, so he has to punch him down. While this is going on, the little girl is actually summoning Mothra, who's an ancient ally of Godzilla that's noticed. So while this battle's going down, Mothra comes up and kind of lets Godzilla knows what's going down. The Godzilla comes like, "Why did you say that?" And Kong's like, "What the
Yeah, and it's a good thing that the little girl got Mothra, because Mothra is one of the few creatures that Godzilla, they're not friends, but they have a unique relationship, because most people don't realize Mothra is actually a female. And she has saved Godzilla before. In fact, there has been times where she actually sacrificed herself to merge with Godzilla, either to bring him back to life or to power him up.
Yeah, this is true. They have a deep lore with each other. If you guys never heard of Mothra, go check out those classics. This leads to a really epic battle scene that we could probably not do justice talking about it.
Now, it's one of those fights you needed to be there to see, because it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Even to the finish, there's like no slow parts in this battle. This battle alone is worth the price of admission.
It is.
Ultimately, the end comes with what you would expect. Kong is now the leader of his people, and Godzilla goes back to the Colosseum in Rome. Because he's declared it his new bed.
Yeah. And as far as Godzilla's concerned, yeah, there's not a damn thing you people can do. This is my bed now, bitches.
Yeah. Well, fit him perfectly, right? He fit right in there.
Despite him being like bigger than most fucking buildings, he could fit right in there all snug.
Yeah, he was just like the perfect little crib for him, if you will. Awesome movie, peeps. Absolutely recommend you guys check this one out. This is one you guys do not want to miss. What should we watch next, bro?
The only other movie that I can think of that is worth watching, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there could agree with me, boys and girls, Deadpool 3. That is the next movie that I'm planning to watch as soon as it comes out. It's not out yet.
Mm-hmm. That one we definitely will.
Now, boys and girls, if there's any other movies that you would recommend that's currently still in theaters or held even on Netflix or Prime or
wherever it is online, let us know down below, and we'll review it. We're trying to get episodes in, right?
Yes, but remember, boys and girls, two very specific things. What those things are is the movie has to be interesting and no chick flicks.
No, actually, you can put chick flicks.
Speak for yourself.
I would do a spin-off of Lady V.
That you could do with her, but for me, I can't watch chick flicks. Not to insult people that like chick flicks, boys and girls. I'm sorry. I can't stay awake for those. I get bored real easy.
Okay.
I'm only being honest. I'm not gonna lie to you, boys and girls. You know I never lie to you.
I thought he was gonna say not to say series. Now, the one thing I want you guys to let us know, if you ever do recommend a series, do you want us to review it by the episode or by the whole season? I kind of feel we would have to do it by the episode.
Like a TV series?
Yeah, or like a K-drama series.
Sure, I guess we can do that. I watch a lot of stuff on Netflix anyway. Like, shit, if I'm not on YouTube, I'm on Netflix. Because I can't be on Prime unless I'm down here. My TV's stupid, boys and girls. Very stupid. I need a new TV. Help me out, boys and girls. Give me some donations or something. Dr. Clo needs a new TV.
See, that's why he's back. We're actually going to film another episode after this because he needs the money. So now he's coming a regular. He wants to upgrade stuff. He saw me get my PS5, my VR, all the stuff I got. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm coming back.
Well, that's because my money's spent on other things. Which I will show you soon, boys and girls, when I do another video in my room. But my room is still not ready yet to be shown. Still need to prepare.
Alright, peeps. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Where can they follow you, Dr. Clone?
Well, like I let you all know before, you could find me, boys and girls, on YouTube at StuCorp. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me, Dr. Clone. Oh, and I should probably say this because I never remember to say this. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Apparently that's a thing, boys and girls, because if you don't turn this friggin' bell thing on, you won't know when my videos drop. And I know, my videos are very far in between. Bear with me. I'm sorry. But you know I love you.
We're actually going to be giving him more content because new season of Good Brother, Bad Brother, we'll be doing the 3rd episode. So that would give him weekly episodes for the next 3 weeks. So
let's not get carried away. Take it up with the union.
Guys, you can follow me on everything Urban Franchise Entertainment and TBX420 Club. Please hit those notification bells. I've been noticing when I post videos, it takes a while for you guys to kind of find them. So please hit those notification bells so you can be updated of all the future ones. Want to do your outro first?
Alright. I probably should have stretched before I got up. Anyway. Now, boys and girls, I'll end it the same way I always end it. But don't forget, boys and girls, even though I said it before, I'll let you know again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me, Dr. Clone at StuCorp on YouTube. And now, never forget, you too can be a member of StuCorp, because everyone wants to be a member, don't they? I'll see you soon.
Well, peeps, thank you so much for joining us. Stay good, stay hood, and keep it blitz.
Audio Jungle.